My name is Will Sherwood, and over the next few videos I'm going to be breaking down the sensational score that Bear McCreary wrote for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I'm going to start with Galadriel. The first thing to really say about Galadriel's theme is its opening notes. So why is this important? Well, the fact that it's sung and it's choral automatically identifies Galadriel as an elf. So Bear McCreary has said in his interviews that the musical DNA of the elves is this ethereal female choral sound. And a scene that really shows this is when Gil-galad is giving his speech in the first episode. So you have this choir in the background, and it has a real grandeur to the scene and kind of harkens and looks a little bit forward to Howard Shore's music. And that's kind of my second point about this, is the fact that it's descending, it's falling, automatically starts to suggest the decline in the strength of the elves. So they are not what they were in the First Age or the Year of the Trees. Their presence has already started to kind of diminish in a way, and this is just very cleverly suggested just by this simple fall. So following this, we jump straight into the Ostinato for Galadriel. So this is simply a set of repeated notes. So here we pick up the pace, and also what's interesting to note is this kind of turning kind of feature. So Bear has also said in interviews that this is kind of like linking Galadriel musically in with Sauron. So when we come to talk about Sauron, who will get his own video, and his theme. There's this kind of this curl, this twist to the theme. So it kind of ties Galadriel in slightly with her oath that she took from Finrod to hunt down Sauron. We then get to the main melody. So straight away, this is in the minor key of F minor, which adds a sense of sorrow into the actual theme, and also this kind of the fall and the descent of the elves. The opening interval, the seventh, is quite powerful. So 7 simply means that there are 7 notes between the first and the last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. An eighth would make it an octave, which is simply the same note, but slightly higher. Well, a lot higher. So the 7th, there's a sense of distance. It's not quite reached the octave, so although there is distance there, there's still a bit of a journey to go. There's a sense of yearning and longing and desire just wrapped up simply within this one interval, and Bear uses this as well. So when he wrote Gale's theme in the foundation score, that 7th again, the minor 7th again features. It's a really powerful interval that Bear loves to utilise. It's used for, I think, the score for Interstellar by Hans Zimmer as well used it. Again, the sense of space. So yes, we have this minor seventh, quite powerful, and also it's played as well by a horn, which in Western musical tradition also is synonymous with heroism, courage, and bravery, traits that even Tolkien identified with Galadriel. So this isn't exactly something new that the showrunners have decided to link into Galadriel's character. The next part after this seventh is this kind of this falling melody. So after you've got this, and then this kind of twisting, curling. Almost like a falling leaf. And it kind of suggests Galadriel's... She's still trying to work herself out. She's not quite there yet. And it kind of... When I did a musical analysis with Sarah Westvick and James Tauber for the Talking Experience podcast, we spoke a little bit about how it kind of feels a bit like a Disney Galadriel, and the song specifically it reminds me of is Reflection from Mulan. Again, this kind of curling element, the sense of who am I? I'm not yet found. I do not know who I am yet. We've not become the Galadriel who we will. Well, she has not become the Galadriel we will know in the Third Age, who meets Frodo in The Lord of the Rings. So it's quite interesting as well that he uses this, because obviously, like I've just said, within film music there is a tradition, but in Western music as well, you have Ravel's Pavan. So hopefully you can hear this kind of curling, this twisting, and when asked about this piece of music, Ravel did say that he could imagine a young princess dancing to it. So in all three pieces I've just identified, you've got this sense of a younger female character who is yet to really work out who they are. So kudos Bear, great melody. The next bit to really kind of note about this is the bee theme. So let me re-clarify. When Bear was writing the themes, he put together the A theme and the B theme. So for Galadriel, you've got your A theme, but the B theme kind of interlinks. There is a connection with all of the B themes, but it's quite interesting what he does with it. So hopefully you'll be starting to pick up these kind of the intervals that he's using. There's your seventh. But again, constantly Galadriel's theme is falling down and resolving back onto the note that it started. I think it's interesting he keeps coming back to the note that it started, this kind of resolution, and like this is kind of representing Galadriel's oath. She will stubbornly not move from her desire who hunt down Sauron. And this is kind of reflected. So constantly we come back to this root note for Galadriel. What's also worthy of note is that with the B theme we move from the horn to the cello, an extremely expressive instrument, and Howard Shore used this quite poignantly, I thought, in the Desolation of Smaug, where he plays the Sons of Durin theme when they go into the hall and they see the remains of the dwarven bodies, and it's just a solo cello. Here we have the cello playing the B theme for Galadriel, as well. This sorrow really pervades her music. The final thing to really note about Galadriel, I'd say, is the harmony that's being used. So like I said, we're in F minor, quite a sorrowful, not dark as in a Sauron dark, but a sense of melancholy. Moving to D flat minor, D flat major, B flat minor, and finally to G flat major. So there's this turning between minor, major, this sense of hope, defeat within Galadriel's themes, which again you can kind of see is quite interesting in how McCreary is putting together the musical personality for Galadriel as well. When we come to think of kind of maybe a couple of other similarities, I mean, he uses one of my most actually I think it probably is my most favourite chord, and also Jacob Collier recently identified that it bar one note, actually this is his favourite chord as well, and this is a D flat 7. There's just really something about that chord that sings, and you've got this. So he starts on the A flat and he falls to the C and holds it there. So you've got this major 7th harmony that's really neatly rooted in there, which when we then ascend, this chord here, adding the 9th onto this chord, so you get this kind of clash with that resolution in case. So there's this constant sense of burning tension, resolution within the theme. It's a really well put together theme, and it's just fantastic to see how Bear is really changing and adapting it as the series develops. So I just want to round off with noting a couple of really awesome mentions or uses of Galadriel's theme. So the first one is in the track In the Beginning. So here, the ostinato that I mentioned, it starts playing when the boat that Galadriel makes starts to sail, and all of a sudden the ostinato grows and gets out of hand when the other elves throw the stones at it. So again, this sense of how the ostinato and Galadriel is growing, this chaos distortion within that. The next real key one for me was the track The Boat. So when Galadriel makes her decision to not return to Valinor. Now, no matter what you think of that scene, just listen to it and watch it for the music. It's sublime what he does here, and it's so epic. And I think there was a review or an interview where someone described it as Wagnerian and operatic. It is so big and so beautiful what he does with the theme there. So what he does with that, I think it's in the second half of the boat. The third / fourth, so these two are kind of tied together, is the tracks The Sundering Seas and The White Leaves. So here, rather than being played by a horn or a cello or entire orchestra, Bear put Galadriel's theme onto a solo female voice, and if you know what happens in these moments as well, this sense of losing Galadriel, that solo female voice really harkens to the sorrow, and you just get a new texture and timbre to it that just, it's unlike any other setting of the theme that we've heard up to that point. So far we've had kind of chaos, operatic, world-changing, and almost a sense of tragedy within a solo female voice. Again, quite operatic. The final one I'd like to mention before I finish this video, which I thought was going to be short, whoops, is Sailing into the Dawn. So first time we see Galadriel in her armour, it's the most majestic, it's the most military. Actually, that's not true. The most military is at the end of, in the beginning when she's taking on the snow troll. But it's a glorious rendition. You've got a ridiculously big orchestra and choir who are performing that, and I just really recommend those 5 tracks if you really want to listen in and tune into the different ways that Galadriel's music is used. So there we go. That's my short version, my short analysis of Galadriel's theme. Now, some of these ideas are not necessarily mine, so they did come from conversations with James Talbot and Sarah Westvick, so a shout out to the both of them as well, because like I said, not all of that is necessarily mine. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Please do leave recommendations and I will most certainly consider it. So like I said, I don't want to do everything, I just wanted to do a little bit of analysis just to give people a sense of what Bear is doing, and I think someone said they're not yet at a stage where they can hear the themes within the general scores or within the episodes, so hopefully these videos can just help to kind of like draw attention to this as well. But please leave a couple of comments, let me know if you think the videos are too slow, too fast. If I'm not explaining things, please do let me know. First time I've ever done something like this, so feedback is always good. Anyway, thank you very much.